Alright, you're with Al, and this is Chronicles of a Not Yet Champion Golfer. Right, this video will make more sense probably if you've watched last week's What's in the Bag, because it's like a follow-on from that. And also, the main bit of this video, the main bit of information is about the difference between a two-toed and a three-toed sloth. So I found out, done me reading, two-toed sloth, its arms are the same length as its legs, whereas a three-toed one, like him, he's three-toed, jobby, him, his arms are well longer than his legs. It's quite an interesting point, isn't it? So I've gone full kit today. So like full golf outfit, got golf shoes on and everything. Because I've spent like 2.5 weeks in trackies and a t-shirt. Trackies, tracksuit bottoms, jogging bottoms, whatever you want to call them. So this week anyway, I'm going to be testing out my irons for their lie and how suited they are to me. I was going to go up to Scotland to the Wilson factory in Irvine, get a full fitting. But I couldn't given the current situation we're in. So I had to go on the specs of my other irons, which I assumed would be the same, but actually thinking about it, I've done a lot of work over the past 2 seasons when I had the other irons fitted. So I don't know whether the lie on the club is going to be right, and it can make a massive difference, certainly to the direction and trajectory of your shots. So I'm going to test it out in my garage, see what the lie's like. I'll explain to you the difference it can make to your golf shots, and then yeah, see if I actually need to change the lie on them or not. Right, I'm just going to hit some warm-ups here. And I'm starting off. This is my old wedge. Me 54, my old one. Me Wilson PMP. And I'm just using this because I've got tour rotation stick always attached to this. And I always warm up with this. Having said that, that's my new 54. And it still looks pretty new, doesn't it? Because I've been chipping a lot in the garden and I've been using my old one because, I mean, it's stupid. I just don't want to get it muddy. I don't want to wear my new wedge out, which is ridiculous because why would you practice with a wedge that you're not going to use when you get on the course? So I need to have a word with myself. I will use that in the garden from now on, but this is my warm-up wedge. There's a reason there's 21 balls lined up here as well, but that'll be in a bit. So just a little, I'll talk you through a little bit what I'm doing pitching. Little bit with me full swing, not loads because this video doesn't need to go on for 10 hours. But with my pitching, I'm trying to feel, like I did a couple of weeks ago, pitching challenge. My main thing has been able to shallow it, keep turning through, so it's picking the ball, really thin divots like the one on 17, when it was really thin, and I was overly pleased with it. And that's what tour rotation stick helps me do, helps me make sure my body is clear. I don't want to be driving it like that. Body's clear, stick sort of level with my left arm. Don't mind if it brushes my side, but I don't want it hitting and bending because one, it hurts and it means I've not turned through it enough. So just build it up with this. Look, full golf, shoes and everything. Pick it off, just pick it off. That was not a good swing. That was like, eh. That's that. I can tell when I've cheated it, when I've just gone and tried to keep out in front of me. That's not what it's for. I've got to make sure it doesn't whack me because I'm turning. I can tell the difference in the swing. You know, that was very much like, and it would have looked out of rhythm. Whereas this, hopefully, looked a bit more in rhythm and it's a bit cleaner, really. Feel a few normal ones without the TRS. And then when you get the normal wedge out, it feels so easy. It really does feel so easy to clear your body. You're not getting punished if you don't either. Lovely. Few 8 irons and we'll get into it. Just show you him again. You didn't see him last week. Look. Look at the little diamonds. Little diamonds cut in the side. Little etching on the hosel. Look at him. Beauty. So with the full swing, like I spoke about, my techniques change over the past couple of seasons. you'll see from videos maybe a year, 2 years ago, where my club would have worked inside more. But inside on the way down, almost like my elbow gets kind of stuck, and that's because of years trying to get the club behind me, but elbow's stuck. So then I have to throw it over and back up at the ball. And you can get away with it if you're timing it alright, but you just, well, it's so hard to have any consistency like that. So change of technique is club's been kept more outside me on the way back. Almost like keeping the right forearm pointing down as a feeling. That way, works around, and then I feel like I can shallow it from there. So left forearm feels like it rotates. See how it brings right elbow in? That's in front of me from there, I can just turn through it. That's the theory. I don't execute it every time, but that's the theory. Good control that, good touch that. Okay, we're ready. My swing feels a little bit strange at the minute, to be honest. Probably because the last few weeks I've become heavily addicted to skipping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, it's the swap over. It's the swap over. And I keep doing that all the time, and it really annoys me because I want to get better at it, and it's really hard. So at times I want to cut the rope up into a million pieces. I've been putting on my Instagram if you want to follow my skipping journey. It's on there. Anyway, this is very technologically advanced, what I've got here, very professional. Because what I've got is a big lump of blue tack and a pen stuck in it. But it's just to sort of explain what the lie does to a shot. So this is my pitching wedge. If that's sat flat, you can see that pen would be pointing straight down the target line. So if that club was made more upright, so the toe is lifted in the air, not changing the direction of the aim, but you can see now that pen starts to point left. The more upright it goes, the further left it goes. Likewise, other way, if that club's too flat, points to the right, so you're likely to hit shots to the right if the club is too flat, and shots to the left if the club is too upright. And that's so important with the lofted clubs, more so than the long clubs, because the more loft there is, the more that affects how far right or how far left it goes. I'm sure there's a formula to it, but I don't know what the formula is, to be honest. But you've got to make sure that's right. I mean, example, one of the lads I know that plays on tour, this was years ago. The clubs he was using, one of them had been done wrong. I think it was the 9-iron, and he kept missing the green, right all the time, always falling right. Had the lie checked on the club, and it was nowhere near. It was well too flat. It was like 3 degrees flat or something. It's like, you know, the difference that makes is huge. So I'd recommend anyone doing this. You don't need to buy new clubs, but this is just a simple test that you can do. So what I'm going to do is, I've got 21 balls there, and I've got 7 new full irons, so I've got 3 new wedges as well. I'll do those separate at the end because they're a little bit different the way I'll work them. I'll hit 3 balls with each one. It'll give me a reading on where each club is. I mean, as I said, they're set to neutral, so whether that's right or wrong, we'll find out now. Each ball's got a red line on it, and that should show us whether the club sits flat, upright, or it's good, depending on where the line is on the face. So I'll hit these balls now, and then we'll have a look at it and see whether they're suited or not. Hopefully I don't need to change them, but it's not a problem if I do. Let me just take my blue tack off. Yes, look at that. Little Wilson Staff logo in the blue tack. How good's that? Easily distracted again. So I'm going to start with a wedge and work our way up to the 4-iron. And it's key to make the swings that you know, I'm still going to be thinking about these. I'm not just hitting them one after another. I'm going through proper technique, feelings, everything I want, full routine, because I want to make the proper swings that I'm going to make on the course, the ones that are going to really represent how I'm trying to swing it, because that's going to give me the proper reading. So if we get that flat, those lines pretty much straight up the face there. That's the line. Possibly a tiny bit going from heel to toe, which means it's a tiny bit upright. They're two on the right, but if you look at the middle one, that one is bang up the middle of the face. It's very small, tiny bit upright, but that's... I certainly wouldn't be changing that. I actually think it's just one because there's two shots there. I think one's dead straight and one's going a little bit upright. And bearing in mind, that's why I hit 3 to try and get an average of them, because sometimes you might not concentrate and you get the ball the wrong way or a tiny bit out. It's going to make a difference. That's why it's so important to get the ball lined up and not tilting at all. But wedge, very good. Actually, that, judging by that, I should still be standard lie. This is like the goal, right? The line here, it looks like it's just one line, but I've hit 2 shots here with the 9-9, but it's bang on the other line. It's like the pressure shot, 3 in a row. What you don't want is red lines all over the face. It's not ideal, that. Although I do now have red lines all over my net. Oh, could be. Afraid to look. Woohoo! That's what I want, strike. This is why this is good. This is good to show you the lie on the club, but it's also good to show you how you're striking and whether you're consistent or not. That one was quite good. Bosh. All bang out the middle. And that is perfect. It's actually slightly heely, I think, actually, but for being picky. Dead straight up. So that's really good. Good start. I mean, you know, if they needed changing, it wouldn't be a problem. Wilson have sent them through with standard lie. That's what I asked for. But if I needed changing, just a little bit on the loft and lie machine. Oh! Let myself down with that. Let myself down with that big time. That is annoying. That is annoying. Never mind. Carry on. Wow. What are you doing there? What's that one? What are you doing on that one? What is that? The other two are alright. That is terrible. But again, little bit heel to toe, tiny bit. That one's dead straight. That one's dead straight. So, nearly just fell over then. So again, we're looking good here, to be honest. Just going to have a little break because I'm a bit out of breath. And it's got to be proper. Like, you can't just smash, 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 smash. It's got to be proper. You've got to just make sure you're in proper mode to hit good golf shots, not just, It's on the golf course, you'd hit one, then you'd have a few minutes before you'd hit the next one. So that's not going to take a few minutes. Oh, is that a wasp? Wasp. Out. Out. Think I got him. Think I got him. No, I didn't. Out! Right, I've had my little wasp break. I got him out. 7-iron, back in. Actually, with the 7-iron, this is where I test the launch, and I want to get my launch at like 17, about that, because I'm quite high with 7-iron. I'm more like sort of 20-ish, and I want to bring that launch down. So this is quite a good test of the clubs and the shaft. So this little box here is about 16 degrees, 16 and a half, I think, bang in the middle. So it's 16, 17, 16 and a half. So if I can hit my 7-iron into that box, it shows I'm launching it at a good height. And I'm starting on line as well. This is where I was talking about swing-wise, a little bit inconsistent. I need to keep on top of it, and this is where the strike got a little bit. I mean, them two are pretty good strikes. That's toey though. But again, dead straight up. Yeah, it's good. All 3 of them. So this is looking good, to be honest. This is looking like standard lie is the way for me to go, which is a bit of a relief, really, because it means I can properly get into my practice now, knowing the setup properly. It just goes to show that I need to keep on top of this, because this is the part of the game I've worked really hard at and feel like I've improved massively. That's positive Al coming out. But I do feel like I've improved it massively, but it's so easy to slip back into bad habits if you don't just keep on top of it. It might just be 10, 15 balls a day just to keep the feeling that I've got. Hasn't felt great so far, and it probably shows a little bit, I mean, I'll show you after, probably a bit inconsistent in the striking. But I'll correct it with these 3 now. 6 iron, 5 iron, 4 iron left. That's it, that's it. That is better. And this club, this shows why you do 3. So this is the 6 iron. Yeah, I mean, it shows why you do 3. Because look. Spot on, that one. Where's that going? Now that has got to be some sort of an anomaly where I've not lined the ball up properly. Because they're all pretty good strikes. They're all pretty central. Those 2 are really good straight up. That one's just says that it's too upright, but it's not. That's got to be the ball lining up. I need to concentrate more when I put the balls down. Now, if I'd hit one shot like that and not hit the 3, I'd have been like, wow, the clubs are well too upright. But they're not. So that's good news. It's amazing how extreme I have to feel that. I have to literally feel like the club goes. So much it brings my right elbow in. I'm not going to do that, like, obviously, but... What am I doing with the 5 iron here? What are they? What are those strikes? A little bit heely, a little bit toey. You know what? They're actually, it's only because there's a big gap between them. You'd think, oh, they're terrible. But look, tiny bit toey. Not much. Tiny bit heely. That's the middle. I'm just to the side of it with both of them. Just want to be more consistent than that. But again, lie's good. Perfect, in fact. Right, I want a 180 here, and a 180 is when you get, I've just named that myself now, when you get 3 shots but 1 line, so you've struck every one right out of the middle. Treble 20 to start that. 60! Uh-oh. Come on, I'm on 120. It's 1 line, it's 1 line. Make sure that's straight, come on. Oh, man! I just missed it. What's next to treble 20? Like 1 or something. 121. That's disappointing. Going for the 180 there. I've got 2 lines there, 1 there. Again, they're absolutely perfect. Straight up, straight up. So that's good news. My irons are set really good lie for me, so I am still neutral lie. Standard length, by the way. I'm pretty much standard in everything. Standard length, loft and lie. That hasn't changed. Really good news. That means I can smash out the practice now. But I'm going to hit a couple of wedges now, and I'll tell you what the difference is in personal preference when it comes to the wedges, because it is quite a bit different. Right, the wedges. So I've got a 50, 54, 58. I've got my 58 here. And why I think it's a little bit different with wedges. It's a lot about personal preference, and I prefer my wedge to sit a little bit flatter than the rest of my clubs. And the reason for that is I like to play that sort of toe down shot where you put the handle quite high, almost not vertical, but that way, so the toe's down in the ground. I think that uses the bounce a lot more, and you get away with a lot more when you've actually got toe down. So when you're in a dodgy lie, I play that chip quite a lot. And I like to see the ball in a pitch shot just sort of landing a little bit softer, and that little left to right at the end produces softer ball flights, and that's kind of what I'm looking for in my wedges. So that's why I think it's quite important to pick a wedge, one that's got the right amount of bounce and one that's got a lot of versatility in the sole. And I like how curved this is at the edge. I feel like I can really get that toe down, so any sort of really bad lies, that just helps to get to the bottom of the ball. So with my wedges, I prefer to see a little bit flat, if anything, really. These show how much, and I'm not saying this, feel like you're blowing your own trumpet, but this just makes me feel good about the work that I've done with the wedge, because I've worked so hard with them, because it was an area I was struggling with. Strike was all over the place. In fact, some of my old wedges, the marks are all in the toe. The wear marks are shocking. But this just shows now how much better I am with them. There's the 58. That was 3 shots. Obviously only come 2 lines and they bang on top of each other. But again, that's a tiny bit, if anything. Tiny bit toe to heel, which is good for me. Same on that. Well, that one's quite straight, but the other 2 are tiny bit toe to heel, which means it's a little bit flat. But that's what I've kind of worked on through impact, is feeling like toe is a little bit down, and it just gives me that margin for error. And that just shows. So this being, it's probably, I mean, it'll be neutral lie, but actually perfect for me, because for me it's a little bit flat. So if I wanted that bang on, I'd probably go a degree upright, but I'm not going to, because that's what I want in the 58. I want it to be that, like we said about before, I want it to be that little soft flight landing to the right. And if anything, it's going to be this part of the sole that's digging in rather than this part. That part digs in, that's when you get in trouble. That's when you get the duff central in front of you. It's similar story really with the 50, oh, dropped it. Similar, oh, dropped it again. 54, again out the middle. Similar lines. That's a bit more straight up, that one, to be honest. Probably a little tiny, if anything, I'm being picky, it's a tiny bit heely. But that's being very picky from where I've come from. I'm not complaining at that. And the 50. I might not rub these out, to be honest. That gives me confidence. The lie on the 50, it's a bit more of a full shot with it, and they're bang on, straight up the middle. So, good news really. I don't need to change anything in my bag. The setup's great. It means I can crack on with them. I haven't seen the ball flight with them yet, because I haven't been outdoors. But, yeah, I am really happy. It's a bit of a relief for me, that. But anyone can do that. Test it yourself. See what you think. Get the line on the ball, line it up, and see what you think. It makes a massive difference. It's well worth doing. So this is the main bit. Got my skipping rope out. It's actually highly annoying, the old skipping, but what it does is it makes chipping less frustrating. It's actually quite good now. I quite enjoy it, to be honest. So my challenge is 10 jumps. These are my legs, by the way. Similar size. 10 single legs each side, and then 10 alternate, like that. So 20 in total of them. It's that. What? Just gonna have a word with myself a sec. I started a new series on my channel last week. It's called Down the Line, and it was me and the Biff just talking about golf. We've got a few of the other lads coming on this week, and it should be quite a major episode. That's your clue there. We're going to do them quite regular, so we don't really know what days, to be honest. So if you can press that little bell icon thing, that gives you a notification when new stuff comes out, because like I said, I'm not certain on the days. I'll stick to the Tuesday videos, but that'll just notify you when extra stuff comes out. So yeah, I'm going to carry on and get this challenge done, but Friday, next video, major episode. So that's it. Lies on my club sorted. Skipping sorted. Thanks for watching. If I don't see you before, I'll see you next Tuesday.